I'm actually really attracted to mangoes. I have a question for you. Do you like horror media? I know I do. Oh God, no.
Horror media is a variety of different things. There's stories, there's games, the backrooms, bro. Most of these horror projects were very carefully crafted. Some are written to perfection. And that's what I think makes most horror projects good. I can name one greatly written story on the internet called Ted the Caver. This story is about some cave divers finding a part of a cave they shouldn't have found. This part of the cave was called Floyd's Tomb. And when Ted entered this part of the cave, he would find a rock with a strange symbol on it, and him going as far as saying,
"It's a crude drawing of what I saw, but it's accurate." The first thing I thought when I saw it was Blair Witch Project. It kind of has the same feel to it. The symbol was in the center of several figures that looked like people raising their hands towards us.
And after the next couple entries, Ted never posted to it again, saying in his last blog that he would go back to the cave. This story is good for many reasons. It is not presented as a horror project at first. It tries to act like a normal blog post, just by a guy that's very passionate about his caving. And when the climax happens, it is totally worth it. It was worth the build-up, and it was overall a good story. And people took inspiration from the story, and made stories of their own. And so they did. And oh boy! They did. The way this is gonna go is that I'm gonna be ranking them from lowest being garbage and highest being decent. Now, time to talk about Eyeless Jack. Eyeless Jack, I would say, has the worst grammar of all these stories. There's a lot of examples of this. For example,
I don't know if it was paranormal or whatever stupid words people use to describe supernatural phenomena, but after that thing visited me, I believe in that trash. Now.
These commas are placed in the strangest places, and I would know. I'm still in school learning about commas and where to place them, and I think I have a pretty good understanding of how you don't write a story. This is one of them. The story starts with the character named Mitch. He moves in with his brother Edwin after his home is foreclosed. After a week of moving in, he tries to get some sleep. Some shut-eye, if you will. And for some nights, hearing noises, rustling. He brushes it off as being a raccoon, and when going to the doctor for having a gash in his cheek, the doctor said Mitch lost his kidney last night. So the next night, when trying to get some sleep again, he's awoken to Eyeless Jack looming over him, watching him. Eyeless Jack is to be said to be a tall figure with a blue mask and having eye sockets bleeding black liquid. He scares it off to the forest by taking a camera shot of him. And for some reason started chasing after Jack, ending up in the forest and tripping on a rock, and somehow going unconscious? He wakes in the hospital. The doctor from before tells him there's good news and there's bad news. The good news being that he's going to be fine, but the bad news is that his brother Edwin is dead. You know, you really kind of love when the doctor's like, well, there's good news and there's bad news. Good news, you don't have the flu no more. Bad news, your whole family's dead. Mitch ends up going home, finding Edwin's dead corpse with a half-eaten kidney laying right beside him. So let's review now. There are some parts of this that I have some opinions on. For instance, the story's pacing feels like it's moving way too fast, and the characters don't feel like real people. I've never heard of someone running after a creature that stole your kidney. I'm just saying, none of my friends have done it, none of my family members have done it, I've not done it. So, it's kind of weird, if you ask me. I do, however, like how Mitch and Edwin don't jump to the conclusion of the noise being a creature and/or / monster, instead of chalking it up being to a raccoon. Which, honestly, I would probably also say that's probably what it was. But that's kind of where my praise ends. Listen, I can see what the story was going for, but it is very poorly executed. So, this doesn't really have a lot going for it. I think if the story had more competent characters and better writing and storytelling, it could have been a really good story. So for Eyeless Jack, I'm gonna give it a F. For fun.
Jeff the Killer is an improvement in writing compared to Eyeless Jack, and I think this part in the story is neat.
Excerpt from a local newspaper. Ominous unknown killer is still at large.
But once again, that's where my praise ends. And this story is kind of long, so I'll sum it up for you.
Why did I do this? This decision was never needed. I think I'm running out of ideas.
There's this boy named Jeff. Then there's this boy named Lou. They live in a fancy neighborhood. Then there's this mom, Barbara, and her son Billy that come over across the street to invite them to Billy's birthday party. Jeff complains about going. A day passes, and Jeff and Lou go to the bus stop, waiting for the school bus. Then here comes a bunch of bullies named Randy, Troy, and Keith. They introduce themselves, rob Lou, but are beat down by Jeff. They go to school. The next day, an officer knocks on the door due to yesterday's fight. Lou takes the blame. Lou goes to jail. Then Jeff starts to go into his cheesy villain arc. Another day passes. Jeff goes to Billy's birthday party, fights with Randy and the gang, then gets lit on fire. Well, he gets lit on fire. In the hospital, Lou is let out, but something snaps in Jeff. Oh yeah, he also gets the Quasimodo treatment. Jeff at home, in the bathroom, starts carving a smile into his cheeks. Then he guts his parents, and after trying to kill Lou, saying go to sleep. My problems with this story is probably also the problems everyone else has with it. One being, this story just feels like a power fantasy. I'm not the only one to say it, and I won't be the last. This just feels more like a power fantasy than a horror story, and this story, oh, bear with me, isn't scary. Bro, I know. As a story that's meant to be scary, there's nothing actually scary about it. So I wondered for so long why this story got as popular as it did. But I think I know why. The story is goofy, cringe, and kind of funny. Jeff the Killer is so bad, it's good kind of situation. That's what made it so popular in notoriety. And there's been attempts to make a rewrite, and they are pretty good, but I won't be talking about them today. I'd recommend checking out Pastra if you want to watch an entire retrospective of the topic. So for Jeff the Killer, I'll give him a D. Next up,
Sonic.exe.
where do I start with you? My history with this stupid hedgehog is very strange because when I was young, this was one of my first introductions to horror media. You heard that right. Horror media. And you know the story. You know about the ending. It's literally about his friend Kyle sending Tom a demonic copy of Sonic, telling him to destroy the disc. Tom not doing that. Ooh, spooky things happen. Then at the end of the story, an evil Sonic plush appears behind Tom, bleeding from its eyes. This wasn't even a creepypasta. It was a troll pasta. Saying this original story was bad is a massive understatement. This story had no reasons for becoming popular, so why did it? And I think I know why. In 2012, a Sonic.exe game that captures how the game plays in the story was made. This game blows up. PewDiePie, Markiplier, and even Jacksepticeye plays the game. And another factor of why it was popular was because Sonic fans are crazy. I mean, just look at Chris Chan. There would be many other of these games, like PC Port and EYX, which these games are actually really good. I would recommend checking them out. And there is more content for PC Port coming this year, so I might cover it when it does get content. But I think the main reason why it got popular was the concept of something or someone haunting a game. That's why stuff like Bend, Drowned, and Speed Duo 64 got popular. But do I think this story is good? Do I think what they did with my boy Sonic was good? Heck no, FNF ruined it. C. Red Mist. This story was definitely scarier to me when I was young, but now I am much older and much more somewhat wiser. This doesn't scare me. It's trying to be scary and somewhat disturbing, but it's just more weird than anything. The story talks about dead kids, which is strange by itself because it's just kind of arbitrarily thrown in there. And even when they do mention it again, when they mention it to the authorities in the story, nothing comes from it. Yeah, remember that one, the most interesting part of the story? Yeah, nothing came of it. And I feel like a better way to write this would to be a reason for the episode being created in the first place. It could have been written to have the person having a bad experience with Nickelodeon and trying to ruin the company's reputation with this strange episode. And remove the random dead kids. The main story is literally Squidward goes to a concert. People in the audience stare at him with their
hyper-realistic bloodshot eyes.
And then Squidward goes home, cries with his
hyper-realistic bloodshot eyes.
And then commits slip and slide.
Hey, fun fact, did you know they put this image in the official show of one of the episodes of the show? They're shortly removing it in the show? Man, this is garbage. F.
Anyway, that was me reviewing the stupidest creepypastas ever. If you enjoyed this video, I'd consider watching my other videos in the series. Except the first two. God, don't watch the first two. And I loved making this video and reading bad horror stories for this video. If I find something bad, I will probably do something like this again. But I'm Kai the Sir. Thanks for watching, and until next time, leave me alone. Wait a minute. That's not my script. Crap, the scripts got mixed up. Damn!